Musa that David James, I think his name was, recommended or asked me to try and get in, I believe it was the second episode in the comments section. But yeah, I've noticed that you guys have been absolutely awesome, but I feel like we don't get enough communication between us. I can only do what I think you guys want me to do, unless you guys tell me that you want me to do something differently. So I'm gonna offer Aluko, who was a player that David James told me I should probably get rid of, and offer 5.5 million to try and prize Musa away from CSKA Moscow. That's gonna happen now. And then I'll advance forward a tiny bit. Cochran come back. Offer come through from McShane. Another one of our weaker players. I'll see if I can get 600 or... I'll see if I can get 700 for him. So yeah, that's gonna happen.
Third place, Arsenal visit 12th placed Leicester City. 4th placed Manchester United face a trip to 14th place.
Let me just shut them up a second. Sorry about that. Sometimes it gets interesting, but I do other career modes on this account as well. Just like little things that I do on my own. And I turn the music on because without it, if I'm not like commentating for you guys, then it can be a little bit weird, or it can be a little bit difficult to play without any sound. Cochran here, apparently he's a pretty good player, and I believe he could be the missing link for us. So I'm gonna offer 7 million for him. And I'm also gonna offer Shana Aluko maybe again. Maybe Shana Aluko? Yeah, I'll offer him. I don't know if it's Sone Aluko or Shona Aluko, but it's one of them. Then get rid of that. And then we got the McShane offer that they declined. And next up, we've got a game against Aston Villa. Or Aston Villa at Villa Park. My words have gone weird. But yeah, I'll play Aluko this game because he's what I got. I'm also going to drop Diame in because he played just to perfection last game. Snodgrass comes back into the lineup. I do like Ben Arfa, one of my favorites, but with the other players playing as well as they are, I can't drop him right now. Dawson has to be playing after the performance he put in last game. So does the two Davies, El Mohammadi, and I believe I might just use this one lineup yet again. Simply due to the fact, if a player plays well, then he should play more. If a player is playing poorly, then you gotta give him a chance to have a break and see if he can recover his previous form. It's the 30th of August on this, so next episode after this, it's probably going to be the transfer deadline day. That's where I want you guys to go ham down in the comments down below. I want you guys to tell me who I should buy in the transfer deadline day. Bearing in mind, I've not got the massive amounts of money at my disposal that the bigger teams have, like Barcelona, Chelsea, Man United, but I have a little bit of money, so I want reasonable player suggestions, who I should sell, who I should buy, and just in general, see if we can improve this team a little bit and make it just, hopefully, make it more appealing to you guys. So I'll let Snodgrass play this one in. Oh, and was that Dawson or Livermore or who? Who was that? No, it was one of their players. Okay. Do another delivery again, or deliver it in again. Diame. Oh, and just wide. El Mohammadi gets it. Plays it back to Snodgrass, who manages to fight off the defender. And let's slot it in here. Can't quite get there then. So yeah, this episode, I figured, after a couple of reports in the newspapers and stuff about things revolving around the club, I'm going to be talking about Tottenham Hotspurs. Why? Because I've heard people have been already trying to get Mauricio Pochettino out of the club. And I think teams have been too quick to pull the trigger. And people could probably learn from from owners like Mike Ashley. People don't necessarily like him, but he stood by Alan Pardew, and now Newcastle's been on a fantastic run of results in their games, and I think Pardew's really turned the team around. So it's one of those things. Pochettino, should he go, or should he be given a little bit more time? Also, there was a very controversial comment made by Adebayor, who said that apparently it felt like when they were at home, they scored there, it felt like when they were at home, the crowd was the other team's 11th man, because the crowd is what makes a team. So you can't expect the team to be doing well if you're not supporting them, if you're going out there and booing them, and you're trying to get rid of people. Teams can't work if you've got people pulling against the tide. If you're trying to work hard in your job and people are trying to push against you and get you out, you don't have the confidence that others have, and you can't have the belief in you that other people have. Sometimes it can help with people. Certain people like Pardew, I guess everyone was going against him, but the players stepped up and they really wanted him to stay. They believed in him, and it really turned the team around. And I believe maybe it takes time for them to get used to different philosophies. I think Mauricio Pochettino is implementing a different philosophy to what previous managers have used for Tottenham, and that's get a little bit difficult for them to work with, but it's helping certain players. Players like Harry Kane, Nasser Chadli, the Belgian left mid. Players like that have been doing really well. Harry Kane, I can't remember, I don't think he got called up for the international team yet, but I think he will be getting called up for the national team soon, and he will become one of England's best young strikers. So yeah, Tottenham is currently, I believe, resting in 11th place, is it? It's around 11th place, or near there or thereabouts. Let's try and play that one up. Got it, Al-Mohammadi. They're in 11th place, and they haven't been having the best of times. I believe they managed to just beat Aston Villa, but even then they had to have Benteke sent off. And I believe Ryan Mason, he is a player that I should talk about, because he's came into the lineup this season under Mauricio Pochettino, and he has really flourished under him. He has by far been one of Tottenham's best players so far this season. So I think he was at fault for Benteke being sent off, and when he leant in and he tried to instigate an incident where he could get Benteke sent off. And so yeah, it's one of those things. It can be a little bit of a difficult decision for the ref if they don't see it all, but the minute you raise your hand to another player, that is when you know you are going to be in trouble. You cannot raise your hand to another player. That is an immediate sending off, and that will not do. So yeah, players that Mauricio Pochettino has brought in, players like Michel Vorm, may have seemed like a brilliant buy at first, but they've already got players like Hugo Lloris, who is one of the league's best players, or best goalkeepers. They also brought in Ben Davies, who's been playing behind players like Kyle Naughton, Danny Rose, and players like that. And it's like they brought in players that may have done well, but they've been in the wrong position, so they've not been going to the right team. It might have they might be good players, but they're only good players if they get playing time. The key is in the name, players. You have to be able to play well, or to improve. There we go, 1-1, Son and Luco managing to get into the box and slap one home past Brad Guzan, who is an average keeper, I'd say. But he gives us our first goal of the game to draw us level, and it means we're right back into this one. Yeah, Tottenham, they've been a team I've been watching every Europa League day in the Europa League on ITV4, and they've not been doing too badly. There was the amazing goal by Lamela, when he ended up getting his Rabona goal from a fair distance out. See if I can put a move on him here with Aluko. Nope. Player with Aluko's speed unable to get him. They've not done too badly. They've could have potentially done a little better, but they've done alright. I mean, Harry Kane, he had to step in and take over in goal at one point, and he didn't necessarily... he's not a goalkeeper, so you can't really blame him for that goal, I mean, from the free kick. It was a pretty easy save to make, granted, but he's not a goalkeeper, he's a striker. There are two of the most different roles on the pitch. You can't just say, hey, you're a striker, I want you to play goalkeeper. A player picks out, or a player is played in a position from an early time, he trains in that position, and it's a goal again. There we go. Who was that? That was Diame, was that? Or was that Sonaluko? That was Aluko, second goal. It happens that whenever I try to sell a player, they start to perform. So I don't know. We've got the lead now in our third game of the season on legendary difficulty, playing as Hull City, and I'm feeling pretty good about the team. I think Musa could really improve us as well, as could Cochran. And yeah, it's going to be an interesting transfer deadline day. Yeah, though, players pick their position. You can't change them and throw them into a completely different role. If you had a manager, could you just suddenly say to them, hey, I don't want you to be a manager anymore, I want you to be a physio? No, you can't. They train in a certain way, or they train for a certain job or a role, and you can't just say to them suddenly, hey, I want you to do this, which is completely different. And it's a hat-trick for Aluko there. Off the woodwork, goes into the back of the net, and it's a hat-trick. 3-1 against Aston Villa, and we look set to be getting our third win of the season on the bounce, and I think that might put us into first place in the Premier League. This has gone better than I thought it would. I originally had a bit of difficulty in the pre-season friendlies. Don't think I won any of them, but now the team, it felt slow at the beginning, but now I've worked with the passing, and I'm working better with the slower teams and how to best and most effectively get past people. And we're playing brilliant football so far. Better than I actually predicted. I predicted we'd have had maybe a win and maybe a win or two and maybe a loss. I thought we'd have a loss by this point, especially due to how we've been playing in the preseason, but nope, so far we have done pretty well. Try and get it back here. Nope. Oh, just wide there by the Aston Villa man. I don't know who that was. I think that might have been Vyman. It was a white striker, and they have Benteke, they have Agbonlahor, they have they've got all sorts of different players, so it can be a little bit of difficulty in picking them out and who's who. It's a bit like Where's Wally, except with guessing the player's name and not where they are. That's a free kick we've given away there to them. Oh god, this video's overrun, so you're gonna have missed a bit of the beginning. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe, and tell your friends about it so that as a community we can help this channel grow. Also follow me on my Facebook, my Twitter, and my Twitch. I do occasional live streams on there. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next episode of this Hull City career mode, where we will be working on the transfer deadline day. Thanks for watching, guys, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Stay cool.